Oh, hi everybody. Oh, you guys, it's October. It's Halloween month. And you're going, oh, Sam's unsupervised again. Except you'd be wrong. I just was ignoring my producer. Sorry, Sam. Love you. Mean it. Hi, you guys. I'm so excited for October. I've got my first Halloween decoration of the year up. Things are about to get spooky. And each week you're going to get a little Halloween treat. First, this week we're going to start with I miss Sam here. I just want you all to know I miss talking with him. I mean, he is here, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we have announcements real quick.
I'm here.
Hi, he is here. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, goodness. We have too much fun. All right. Real quickly, our play reading series, make sure and go check out Zoom date because you only have until October 24th, which also happens to be my birthday eve, which also happens to be when early voting starts in California. So that's a very important date. So watch Zoom date until the 24th, then go out and vote and send me a happy birthday message showing that you voted, please. That's what I would like for my birthday. Thank you. And Henry Cavill's email address. Also, if you would like to submit a play, we're still taking submissions. Email plays at kentwoodplayers@kentwoodplayers.org. And for the October slot, it's a very special slot. So if you'd like to see the performances, you're going to have to watch it live with us at our member meeting. So come check out Kentwood. If you aren't already a member, come check us out, see what we're all about. Our member meetings are a lot of fun. You get some information, you can ask questions, and then you can stay for a fun show. We're a little social distancing edition of the October music hall, so you'll have some great entertainment. It'll be a lot of fun. So come check us out. If you'd like more information on that, email marketing@kentwoodplayers.org or check out our Facebook page. And then the November slot I'm very excited about. Our very own Sam Gianfala will be directing. Hi, Sam. That's the one. He's directing Recipe. I was going to ask him who wrote that, but he disappeared. He's like a ghost. He's our October ghost. So that's going to be fun. So make sure you come in and check out our November play reading series. In addition, let's see. The Night of Black Excellence is going to be October 24th and 25th at 5 p.m. And I am putting the link in the little chat right now so that you all, maybe, am I challenged? Oh, I got it. So that you all can have this link. And it is free, and you do not have to be an LMU student or faculty to attend. Hi, Daz. Thank you for the hellos. Oh, it's Dez. I'm sorry. I can't read. Let me move this over. Hi, Dez. We are, let's see, I put that link in there, so make sure and check that out. That it's going to be really wonderful night of excellence. And then Elizabeth Bouton, our very dear Biddy, is performing for Torrance Theater Company in their upcoming production of Bower, and that is on October 18th. And if you go to the Torrance Theater Company website, you can see it's part of their Play at Home series. And these are really fun. I saw good people in there. It was excellent. I'm going to be checking out Bower. It starts at 6 on a Sunday. So I'm going to have to work something out because we got a show at 7. And that will be show 2 of our very special series we've started, which is our Kentwood Kid series. And I'm so excited for today's first Kentwood Kid coming onto the show. You remember him as our dear drunk rockin' Robin Hood. Let's welcome on Dillon Hensel. Hi, Dillon.
Hi, Sam.
How are you? I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
Yay. I just want you to know something real quickly before we start. Well, let's tell our viewers. I directed Rockin' Robin Hood, for those of you who don't know, and Dillon was one of our leads, played Robin, and I have this.
Wow.
Which you actually gave me.
No way.
This was your prop that you used in the show, as you know. But you actually gave me, because remember it broke?
I do remember.
And then you were like, you gave it to me at the end instead of keeping it yourself, which I thought was very sweet because you could have kept this.
I actually stabbed myself in the hand with that.
Well, no wonder you were like, here, take this from me. I can't be trusted. You did say that, so I thought that was weird. But anyway, I have this on my, it's real, y'all. It's not sharp, but it is real. This was not my idea to give a young performer a real blade. It's not sharp. Don't freak out. But I have it on in part of my decor in my house.
I love it.
That show meant a lot to me. It was a very special experience.
It meant a lot to me as well.
Yay. Well, let's get to it. Let's start talking about theater and all kinds of things. Before we get to theater, though, Dillon, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to be?
I am from Westchester, born and raised. I came to be in 2000, and now I'm here, living the dream.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it that you are from Westchester. Our little playhouse is the Westchester Playhouse. I think it's great that this is literally your community playhouse.
It is.
I love that. So how did you, and also, have you registered to vote?
Not yet.
What are we doing as soon as this interview is over?
Registering to vote.
That's my boy. All right. How did you first hear about Kentwood Players, and how did you get involved with Kentwood Kids?
I don't quite recall. I believe it was probably my mom. Saw something on Facebook, and I remember. I think that I did like a workshop with you. It was like Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Oh, right.
And then from there, I kind of did my own thing, and then I started with Grim Night.
Ah, Grim Night. That was such a cute show.
Mm.
I love that. And refresh all of our memories. Who directed? That was Melody and Drew directed Grim Night?
It was, yes.
That was great. And that was your first show?
It was, yes.
Do you remember auditioning for Grim Night and what that was like? Or was that not your first audition? I guess you did the workshop, but
yeah, I believe it was my first audition for a play, and I honestly I forget, I was 10 years old, 11 years old, and I really don't remember quite well, but it was a great experience for me. I got to meet my two closest friends, Lucas and Logan, and from there I just kept doing it.
I love that. I also am going to tell Melody and Drew that you're so traumatized from the audition you don't remember. That's how I'm going to twist it.
Yeah.
Do you remember your audition for Rockin' Robin Hood? Just make something up. They won't know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't exactly remember. I remember going against Joseph Olivas and what's his name? Oh my God, Javon.
Yeah.
And they were two great candidates to play the role, but I really wanted it, and so I did my best and got it.
I will say, for those watching at home and for all of the cast involved, you boys, which is interesting because you named everyone that you have named was in the show. and what ended up happening was I cast that whole group as the Merry Men. I just want you to know that was the one show that I have directed that has given me the hardest time casting. We stayed there, I think Melody will have to remind me, but I think it was 3 hours going over trying to piece that show together. And it wasn't because we were like, oh my gosh, these children, none of them can do it. We were like, oh my gosh, we could cast this show 3 different ways and have an amazing show. So, and it was a great show. We had a good time. Everyone played their role brilliantly. It was just fabulous. Yay.
Yeah, I love that show.
So let's talk about, so you're 10 years old. You do Grimm for the first time. You had done, what did you say, it was Gingerbread Lady? No. What was the workshop?
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. That's Gingerbread Lady is the show Drew directed for the main stage. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you did Goldilocks and you did Grimm. What kept you coming around and sticking with theater as a child? Like what about it was like, this is cool? Because I know you also play hockey.
Yeah.
Those don't seem like they would fit together.
No, yeah. I was really competitive with hockey. I played hockey till I was 16, and I had like 6 concussions by then, and it was really expensive, and so I had to yeah I don't know really what kept me going. I think it was mostly like the community, and I loved that like I was learning to take direction. Like I learned that through hockey and in theater that I didn't know everything, and it was a really good experience being around people of all ages, not just my own, and coming together and making something work. Really, making something beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting. That's such a common theme that we hear a lot whenever we're talking to people when they first get started, why they stick with it. And it's that sense of community, that sense of working together to make something happen.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And yeah, I just I never really met anyone like theater people, and that's really what kept me going. I think was just it was like a big party,
Yeah.
through and through. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
There are no people like theater people. So I think when you find the tribe, you're like, this is cool. Let's stay here. That's
Exactly.
really neat. That's really neat. And did you ever do like theater and stuff in school? How did it influence you?
Yeah,
going forward?
I in school I did a lot of leads. I played Hades in a play at one point. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It helped me like overcome. I have like social anxiety, and so it's really helpful to like to you can almost like if you're feeling that anxiety, you can put on your face that is you. You know what I mean, and really overcome that, and be able to speak your mind and talk to people and have some conviction.
Absolutely. You know, it is very common in this world of artists. I mean, in general, I think more people deal with anxiety and social anxiety than we realize. We're just now as a society being able to talk about that. I myself have some social anxiety, and everyone's like, really? And I'm like, I'm painfully shy, and no one believes me. But because outwardly, or when we're on stage playing these crazy roles, it just seems like there's no way you're shy. I just saw you be a goofball. But
Exactly.
when I have to deal with people as myself, it can be very stressful. I
Yeah.
have,
But
I
you get through
have.
it.
What was that?
But I'm sorry for interrupting, but you get through it, right? Like I think that's something that theater really can benefit to people is that you can get through it, and it's not as scary as you think.
Yeah, exactly. And what you said about putting on the face that is you, that really rang true for me. Because there are events where I've shown up and I'm like, I'm not going in. I don't know anybody. I'm not with anybody. I'm not going in. And actually, Melody, who has directed you, who is my business partner, I remember one time I was on a phone with her, getting ready to head into an event. She goes, just put on your Marilyn and walk in. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And it was like this whole like breathing. Okay, I've got it. Put on Marilyn. And I walked in and everybody turned, because when you put on that stage presence, it's meant for people to watch. And I was like, internally, I was like, oh my gosh, I was too much Marilyn, too much.
No,
But yeah, that's what helps us get through, are those little tools we use. So what are some of the skills we were talking earlier? What were some of the things that really resonated with you because we're also a student at Kentwood Kids, so we did a lot of classes together, and then we did the shows. What were some things that really resonated with you that you were able to apply in your regular life?
Well, I think what I learned from those classes in the theater was having there's like a power to body language, and I really got to understand that a little better, and how I present myself in a room, just like you were saying. If I want attention, if I don't, if I just want to kind of fit in, if I kind of want to go against the grain, I have that power now, instead of just kind of not really understanding body language and how you present yourself. Like being a confident person. That's really key in this world. I think even in other facets of life, like business or marketing. There's so many things that you can learn from theater that really benefit every other part of your life. Public speaking, preparation, like writing down notes, like say on your script, and about your dialogue, and really understanding what people are really saying, instead of just
Absolutely.
what could be on the surface. So
Absolutely. I think it's just tickling me to hear you say all these things, because this is a subject that we've had on here when I've had Melody on, when I had Drew on last week, when I've had Marty on, Marty, who's also watching. Hi, Marty. But it's that very thing, like we think that it doesn't matter if you're going to pursue theater or film and television as an actor or performer. These are skills that you will use in any aspect of your life, and those are the
absolutely.
very skills. It just tickles me. I also think, and you had talked about this earlier, I think that that empathy is a huge thing that we get out of theater by literally putting ourselves in another person's shoes.
Absolutely.
Has it helped you, and also dealing with like social anxiety and stuff like that, has it helped you to be able to relate to people in a different way? Or did you notice any kind of thing as you were growing up, communicating and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Like really, it kind of helped me like see from another perspective, I guess, and really put myself in the shoes of somebody else, that while they might be um being mean and maybe cruel to me, that could just be a reflection of something else that's going on in their life that really isn't directed to me.
Wow.
And that it's just like the same with like a character and their turmoils and struggles that really aren't shown in the play, or in the performance, like things that like a good background for your character, I guess, is like, that's how I would connect it, really. Like a character might be mean or cruel to everyone, but really it's something that's happened in their past, and it's
Mm.
important to have that in your in what you're thinking about when you're playing that character, and so that it really helped me with that.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's great. One of the things I also really appreciated you as a student, as a young actor, as I was directing with you, is that you really worked to be well rounded and to have a story for your character, even at such a young age. You were focused on it like an adult actor would be, which I think is really important, because oftentimes we discredit young people in our society, in our lives. We don't really listen to them. We don't think they can add value. We think they don't know what they're doing, so it's our responsibility to tell them what to do. But really, really, I was learning a great deal from working with all of you, and the questions that you would ask as you're approaching even such a goofy show as Rockin' Robin Hood, were you were really looking for that well-rounded story for the character. And I think that it showed in your performance that there was something more to that.
Yeah, I think that's something I definitely took away from theater as well. I always really like wanted to be more independent as a person. Like my parents personally are very like they thought I was a smart kid, so they wanted me to get good grades, and I didn't know if that's exactly what would make me happy. And I think that's the most important thing is love and happiness. And uh, so theater really gave me that independence for hours. I would be, with people my age, really just feeling more like a independent person. Maybe not like an adult, but like a more
Right.
like independent being that can make decisions for myself, and that freedom was really crucial to me growing up and being a mature, well functioning adult.
Absolutely. I mean, here we are having this conversation. I'm like listening to you, and you're 20, and your brain's still developing, and I'm going, wow, he's so mature. Like,
Hardly.
yeah, well, you can
Regressed.
like you can still play around and be a goofball because I'm 25 plus and still play around and I'm a goofball. But there's still maturity, and it's really impressive. Yay. So speaking of that, you have your whole life ahead of you. Are there things that interest you now that you think you want to pursue, or do you have any idea what you want to do with the 100 years ahead of you?
Yeah, I'd like to, hopefully have my own business. Um, I started working when I was 16, and I had a really amazing manager. And then I had another experience where I was managing a restaurant slash wine bar in Santa Monica, and I had to deal with a completely unbelievably childish owner that
Oh,
was nonstop with me, and he would get drunk in the restaurant,
wow.
and I'd have to basically babysit him and the tables and the employees, and at the same time have some brain left over to try to improve revenue and make the restaurant a better place, give it a give the
Wow.
customers a better experience. So that's kind of what I love though, and I think that hardship kind of uh, improved me. Like if I ever end up owning a restaurant, I'll know what not to do. Um,
Yeah, getting drunk while working is usually not a thing to do when you own a business. So that's a
yeah,
good lesson.
absolutely. And it was just it was embarrassing for him, and
Yeah.
he would try to schedule things that didn't really fit into our staffing. And I'd try to tell him like, look, we need more people here if you want to have a 60-person party and have two servers. You know what I mean? And so I had to definitely like deal with adversity there, and I think it's kind of like put me in a better place. So I definitely wanna own my own restaurant. At one point, I love food, and I love the theater of taking care of people and showing them the beautiful space that you've envisioned, and how at home and yet unique they can of a place that you can create for them. If that kind of makes sense.
That is awesome. Out of curiosity, what kind of food are we going to be focused on at your restaurant, the restaurant of your dreams?
I don't know. I have a few chef friends that I kind of have been working on picking their brain. I've been thinking of doing some sort of like Latin Italian fusion foods that I think that I can have a really those are my two favorite types of food, and I think that
I love it.
I have a really unique um, palate, and but also really universal palate, and so um, the the boss I've been working with, he's like a big huge foodie. He's traveled the world. He's eaten 8 Michelin stars in a day. He's a very
Oh,
rich man, and he used to come to me and ask me every time the chef would come up with a new dish what I thought about it.
oh
And I think that
wow.
gave me a lot of confidence in 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 my ability to taste food and tell if people would really enjoy it. And so I'm gonna use that skill or talent or innate ability or whatever I have to try to create something really to really knock people's socks off, I guess.
I love that. That is wonderful.
Mhm.
I'm really excited. When you get that up and going, we'll have you back on to plug that,
Awesome.
but
Thanks.
only if we get free food.
Absolutely.
I think that's wonderful. One of the things I think is really exciting about having, our Kentwood kids on is here, like some people have, as you know, have stayed in the craft and have followed it. And then some people like yourself are venturing in another direction, which is great. And I just really love hearing about like how you're influenced by your experiences and and then how you've taken that into another realm. And I think that's really cool to hear. Even the way you're speaking about it, you can hear the foundation of what you learned in theater affecting how you are going for. That's super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
It
great.
was, it's a gift. Absolutely.
I love that. Um, so also I wanted to touch on really briefly, and I'd asked permission to do this because I wanted to see how you're doing because what was it, a year ago you had this accident?
About, yeah.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to go into details, but he had a rollerblading accident, which left you in the hospital.
Yeah.
But you're recovering well, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And how from going through that recovery and stuff, how's that affecting like where you are and your life, or do you feel like you're done, you're healed, you're great, let's move on?
It's different. I before the accident, I was in the best shape of my life. I was working out 6 times a week, and
Oh wow.
I was really like lean. I watch a lot of like bodybuilding competition. I think the
Oh,
composition of the human body is very beautiful, and I think it's like a very endearing quality in somebody that they can have the discipline to be able to eat correctly and make time outside of their day to day life to be able to make yourself what you see as the most beautiful version of yourself.
mm,
And so was very confident and very I was very confident and very I was on a good track, and that kind of like veered me off for a little bit. But also I learned a lot from the experience. I learned that I while at one point in my life I have been really appreciative of everything that the world has brought me, the beauty of it, and the conversations with people. I feel like I had maybe like lost a little bit of that,
mm,
and being like, bedridden and really like having what they call brain fog, which I still have a little bit, but really kind of made me appreciate what I had before and what I was missing now, and so while it took a little bit, now I have something to work off of, I guess I would say.
yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, that is really. I mean, I hope that all of us can take a little bit of that and just appreciating when we are in good health.
Just
And
waking up in the morning and smelling the air and I can't smell anymore. That's one thing that's really
wow,
yeah. I guess you can bruise your olfactory nerve and that'll it hasn't come back and it might not ever.
oh
But there's a lot
wow,
of emotion connected to smell and
yes,
like with food tastes different for me now and so I've had to like adapt and but really like just waking up and breathing in the air and like looking at the world and seeing how beautiful it is or the issues you might see that just really having a positive perspective on life is just so important in any
yeah,
regard. I could have been paralyzed from that accident. I could have been brain dead, but I'm not. I'm here talking to you, and moving perfectly fine, and that's something you appreciate every day, even if you haven't gone through a traumatic experience. Just really going through life, going through the paces is just really not for me. Um, and so yeah, I've come away with a new appreciation for sure.
I think that's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. Like, we shouldn't have to go through a traumatic event to appreciate life. And it's these reminders, thank you for letting me share your story, because it's these reminders, especially now in this very challenging time where we're dealing with a pandemic, we're dealing with a crisis in our society, and a few of them. And it's to try and also remember why we're living. So I think that's great. One of our viewers, kind of going back into your lifelong plans, I say lifelong with a little tongue in cheek, because we can always, our life is so full, and who knows where it's going to take us, and we switch around, to do some people don't, but some of us switch around and do all kinds of different things. Anyway, so Susan would like to know, do you cook as well?
I don't. If I do cook, it's not a like calculated learned approach. I really just like grab a bunch of ingredients I think would taste good together, and oftentimes it doesn't disappoint me, but I but I like to critique food, and I notice differences even if I have the same thing twice. I like to it's interesting because you go to like say like Chipotle, right? And in Chipotle you can have the same exact thing twice, but the person who cooked it really matters. You can taste the difference, to me at least. And so that's something I learned at the restaurant I'd just been at, that it really matters who's cooking your food, how they're preparing it, how the ingredients are stacked in order, and long story short, no, I don't cook.
But you have such a different viewpoint. I mean, the fact that you're even like, it depends on which person cooked it, and we're talking about, like a Chipotle. You have fine taste buds, obviously. So have you thought about going to culinary school or doing something like that and honing that craft?
It's quite a daunting thing to think about. It's a whole art form, and I think that a lot of the best chefs love to cook, and they have been doing it since they were young, and they have an advantage where they have family recipes that they get to work off of, and I just feel I don't really have that kind of edge to I'm not saying that I couldn't or that I wouldn't, but I don't think I have that passion to cook, really. I have a passion to eat. And,
right. You bring up a really good point, and that is, it is an art in its own. I have a very good friend who's a 5-star chef, and it is an art completely. It really is. And it seems like you're really just into the management of things, which I think is wonderful. You've got great skills for that. So that's really exciting. Yay. Here's, before we leave the food topic, here's a very, very important question.
Yes.
This is going to determine the rest of our friendship. What are your feelings on cilantro?
The herb, or
the herb. Mm-hmm.
I think it's necessary in certain things.
Do you?
I personally wouldn't eat raw cilantro. But I can taste if salsa has cilantro or if it doesn't have cilantro, and it needs cilantro. You know what I mean?
Because when you taste it, it's because it tastes evil, and then you're like, oh, this has a little bit of gross in it. Is that what you mean?
No, not at all. I like cilantro. I think cilantro is good. I don't go to it. Do you not like cilantro?
I literally think it is evil.
My dad is the same way. My dad tastes cilantro in anything.
Yes.
If they put a sprig of cilantro in salsa, he would taste it and wouldn't eat any more of the
That's
salsa.
correct.
It's crazy.
That is correct.
But like, if I'm to be a good food taster, then I don't like fish, but there are times at the restaurant I was eating prawn, and I was eating like sea urchin and caviar, and it's just
Wow.
it's, it's something I have to. I'm an extremely picky eater. I know what I like, but at the same time I have to have an open mind. And so cilantro, I eat cilantro, and I think it's important in a lot of dishes.
I am proud of your willingness to try things you don't particularly care for. Sam Gianfala is trying to tell me that I'm canceled because I don't like cilantro, but what Sam doesn't realize is that I have advanced taste buds. So there you
Exactly.
go. Just side note, I know it's a theater podcast, like why are they talking about food? But side note, cilantro is the most divisive herb. There is actually even a website called IHateCilantro.com.
I know, yeah. People hate cilantro.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
It's actually a genetic thing, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. Like if you can't handle that taste, like we won't have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just know when I come in, you can tell everybody you guys hide the cilantro from the kid. Don't let anything get into her food. Yeah. No, that's funny. That's great. So real quickly before we wrap up, getting us kind of back on to the theater wagon. If you could encourage a young artist who is thinking about trying a class or going to a camp or auditioning for a show or what have you, what would you say to that young person who is thinking about?
I would say just try it and it'll change your life for better or worse. That's all I can say. I mean, some people maybe not for worse, but because you'll just learn that you learn something from that education, and you learn that either you can like rule that out of the many things that you can do in life, or maybe you can grow off of that into some other subsection of whatever it is, or you can just maybe fall in love with the thing itself that you're studying there. So I would say just go for it, try it. Life is short, and so you have to fit as many experiences in it as you possibly can, and as long as you have a positive look on going into it and in your life, and maybe might not be what you're learning, but the experiences with the people that you are sharing that with, then like it's just all around a good time.
I love it. Yay. I think that's absolutely true. I think there's no harm in just going for it and trying. Great. Yeah. Do you have a favorite experience in the theater? Something that just could be a favorite role, a favorite show, a favorite one performance, a moment in a performance, but something that has stuck with you that you really enjoyed?
I could like list a lot of my favorite things. Building theater with Drew, that was building the set pieces, that was amazing. A great experience. I remember many late nights there, working with power tools and such, and being a young lad, and just really like being given that responsibility gave me a lot of gratitude and good feelings for adults in general. At the time. And then let's see, Rockin' Robin Hood, I received a lot of praise for that. That felt really good. I had an amazing experience with everyone in that cast, and that was fantastic. Grease was really fun. I had a great time playing Heracles gave me a big confidence boost, feeling like the big strong dude. Um, and yeah, I mean, like top to bottom, the directing I received was so not condescending, and that's what I had been used to as a young young lad. Was a lot of really, not taking my opinion into consideration, and you and Drew and Melody all were just so very warm and welcome and had so much respect for us as kids that I couldn't thank you guys enough. It was amazing.
Thank you. That's really good to hear, and I'm getting a little emotional. ah, um, that it really does mean a lot. And I have to say, I remember I didn't get to be there for rehearsals for Grease because I was rehearsing something else. And I remember for most of the rehearsals, but I remember walking in right before you all opened. And there were two people that came out that I was like, and it was you when you came out one of your entrances, and I was like, who is this kid? Like, where is this power guy coming from? And Kobe, because when we first met Kobe wouldn't even look up. I don't know if you remember that, but he answered in monosyllabic answers and wouldn't even look up, and then came in Zeus, and I put a picture up of that from that show on announcing you coming on to this, and it was him behind you with the lightning bolt, like ready to attack you as Zeus. And yeah, I was just really impressed by watching the growth that that you had, finding that strength and that boldness. It was really fun.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a great asset.
Yeah. Oh, yay. Do you have a crazy debacle? Was there ever a time that something went wrong in a show? Or was there a show that went wrong? Because I was in a show once that went wrong. The entire show was wrong.
No, so not with Kentwood, but there was at one point I was in a show. It was about an old radio. I honestly forget all about it. This was in El Segundo. One of the cast didn't wasn't listening for his cue to go on, and so we had to improvise on stage, and it was like a central part of the whole plot of the show was him coming on and the lines we were gonna have with him, and the entire show was basically like ruined after,
Oh no!
because none of it really made sense, and we had to kind of do it on the fly, and it was just it was kind of a nightmare.
Oh no! Yeah. That is one of my worst fears. I think I have less fear of being on the stage when somebody has forgotten their cue. It is me forgetting an entrance or forgetting a line or forgetting like blacking out and that's I have nightmares.
Well, I'd experienced lines being forgotten, but never somebody just not coming on, and people were trying to find him and he wasn't around, and it was you could almost hear the people, where is he? You know what I mean? In off stage. It was looking back on it, it was funny, I guess, but was,
yeah. In the moment it's stressful, but looking back it's hysterical, and that is live theater. I love it. Yay. Well, real quickly, we're in a pandemic, obviously, in case you didn't know. What do you hope comes out of this when we come out of this craziness? What do you hope the world looks like coming out of this? What do you hope we've learned?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I hope there's a lot of self-reflection. I think that isolation from their social groups has sort of hindered people, and then some people, it's all about your perspective on it. But I play video games, for instance, and there's a lot of racism and sexism, and it's horrible to hear that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and it's really like, I don't know. I just wish everyone could come together and love each other. I play music now, and I love to sing, and I think that like as a real like it's a real passion of mine to sing, and I think that hopefully, maybe not me, I'm not practiced enough, but somebody can come, some group can come together and show the world that, we can all just love each other and really have a have a cohesive experience on this world, even though our dreams are all very different. And yeah, I hope that we come out stronger than ever as a human race.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Dillon. Yeah, I think that that's really great. I'm hoping the same thing, that we've taken the time to do some reflection, and that we are moving forward out of love. And I just want to say, you don't have to be a super creator or like super accomplished to share your message and to share your creativity and heart. So you keep on playing that music and sharing it, and it will influence, even if it's a small scope, that will keep rippling out. And so I think it takes all of us to do that, and I think that that's wonderful. I hope that you will come back and join us when we come out of this into the real world and we have live theater again, that you will come back and play with us again, either on stage, off stage, or even in the audience.
Yeah.
And be around. You're a very talented actor, so I do hope it's on stage, and you have a lovely voice. And Marty is on right now, and so he is our music director, and he can tell about how great your voice is. So
yeah, I love Marty.
He's good.
I had a lot of amazing direction from him.
He's a wonder. Me too. Me too. Yeah, so I hope you'll come back and join us and do that. That would be great. We'll keep you posted. And thank you so much for sharing with us about what you're doing now and how theater affected your life. That really means a lot.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Yay. All right, everybody, we're going to sign off. Dillon and I are going to go register to vote. You have 8 more days to do that. We're going to do it right now, though, because we're not going to wait 8 days. Are we, Dillon? And we'll see you next week. We've got another wonderful Kentwood kid with us. We are going to be visiting with Grace Rector. We're going to be talking about the new book that she's writing and all the stuff that she's doing in DC. Wow. So stay tuned for that, and keep sending us all of your announcements and everything, because we want to see your shows and what you're doing. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.